What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Deaths of the Asia, the You Can't Whoop Me edition. When y'all get in here, go ahead and like the video, share the video, and make sure that you have subscribed to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell. That way you don't miss whenever I go live. Tonight, we're going to talk about Nicki Minaj and her trifling ass husband, Kenneth Petty, and what went down on the Real where Jennifer Huff, I hope I'm saying her name right, Jennifer Huff, the woman who was sexually assaulted by Kenneth Petty, her interview on The Real that just took place a couple of days ago, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to talk about that. If any one of y'all want to jump in and share your thoughts and opinions on this, feel free to click on the link that's in the comments. It should be in the comments. Click on the link that's in the comments and you could go ahead and join the live feed or whatever, and we could get into this. But anyway, y'all, so here's the thing. Nicki Minaj, as we all know, Nicki Minaj, she ends up marrying Kenneth Petty, which she knew from her childhood days. And if I'm not mistaken, Nicki Minaj met him around the age of like 13, 14 years old or something. And I believe he was about 18 years old, right? So I ain't gonna be too hard on Nicki Minaj as far as dealing with this man or whatever, because I was actually in a similar situation where my ex-husband, when I was 14 years old, he was 18. I met him. We was just like best friends or whatever. As time went on, we ended up getting married and all this old kind of stuff. And, it was a shit show, so to speak. So anyway, so I can't be too hard on her in regards to marrying this man, because I done did some bullshit myself. So I ain't gonna go there. But here's the thing, right? I think it was around 1996, 97, I want to say. Nicki Minaj's husband ends up raping Jennifer Huff. And at the time, her family was telling her to dismiss the case because I guess Kenneth Petty is some type of goon or whatever. And so her family was telling her to dismiss the case because, of course, if you go tell on somebody who's in the streets or whatever, they start threatening you and all that kind of stuff. Not only do they threaten you, but the people who they know threaten you as well. So this 20 some plus years ago when this happens. Fast forward, Nicki Minaj, she becomes this superstar. At the time of their youth, Jennifer and Nicki, they didn't know each other, and Kenneth Petty was just some guy in the neighborhood. So moving forward, Nicki Minaj becomes this superstar. Kenneth Petty, he gets out of jail. Him and Nicki Minaj, they link up or whatever the case may be. They end up getting married. Now, what he did to this girl back in 96, 97, whenever it happened, he actually was convicted and he was incarcerated for it. And now he has to file as a sex offender. He has to register. If he goes somewhere, if he moves, he has to register as a sex offender, like all the sex offenders have to do. So here it is. He go marry this superstar, Nicki Minaj, and he decides, I guess he felt like, I'm above the law or whatever the case may be. And he decides that he is not going to register that he's a sex offender. And so now, the cops were after him or whatever. He got charged for that and all this old kind of stuff. So they dealing with the court case in regards to him not registering as a sex offender. And he's looking anywhere upward. I think the minimum is like 10 years. If he get locked up for it, it'll be like 10 years or whatever. So this is the thing that brought me to task, that actually pissed me off, that I've been sitting on for a minute because I just wanted to see how everything was going to unfold. Initially, when everybody found out who Kenneth Petty was and people was going onto the blogs, dragging Nicki Minaj for dealing with this man with the status that she has or whatnot. Initially, Nicki Minaj, she goes onto her platform and she tried to create the narrative that this is a white woman and that Kenneth Petty and the girl Jennifer, they actually used to date. They were in a relationship when all of this happened. So of course, we are very familiar with how it be when you're younger, and the white girls, they get involved with a black boy and then they start screaming rape. So first she created that narrative, had everybody thinking that it was one of those things. But at the end of the day, where there's smoke, there's fire. This is not one of those things where, he got off. He actually was convicted for it. So she first come with that narrative, try and have his back and try and clean it up. And a nigga will tell you anything. And then it turned around and came out that the girl actually is a black woman. I think one of her parents is white or whatever. I don't know all that lady business, but she is a black woman at the end of the day, right? Mixed or whatever, but she ain't white. So that was the first thing that Nicki Minaj did. So when Nicki Minaj's husband decides that he's not going to register as a sex offender and he could be facing his time, Nicki Minaj actually started reaching out to the lady and trying to get her to recant her story. I think initially they offered her like, was it $50,000 or $500,000 or something like that to split with her family members or whatever. So they started trying to negotiate with this woman to get her to recant her story. And, people have been threatening her. They done put money on this lady's head and everything. So I'm going to let y'all hear the clip that she did on the reel. And I'm going to tell y'all what I think about this. This was so disheartening to actually watch and see this lady relive this. Let me play this clip for y'all real quick.
Jennifer, have you ever spoken to Nicki directly?
I did, in March of 2020. She called me and she said that she got word that I was willing to help them out in a situation. I didn't understand what she was referring to. She offered to fly me and my family to LA. I turned it down, and I told her, woman to woman, this really happened. And I hadn't spoken to her since.
Now, you allege that Nicki and Kenneth were harassing you. In what way?
With them sending people to negotiate numbers as far as money is concerned with family members. And Nicki is the one who personally reached out to me. She's, in regards to helping them in this situation. And then the threats that I received because I kept saying no to every offer, to every suggestion. The last incident was when one of their associates put $20,000 on my lap, and I still kept saying no. The last message I received was that I should have taken the money because they're going to use that money to put on my head.
Nicki Minaj need her ass whooped cat raggedy. She really does. My thing is this: if you're going to support your man, support your whatever you're going to. If that's what you're choosing to do, you married this man. If you're going to support this man, you need to support him in silence. You need to let him stand in his own shit. Because this wouldn't even be an issue if he wouldn't have what? Damn, I done lost my train of thought. It wouldn't have been an issue if he would have went ahead and registered as a sex offender, in which he is a sex offender. He was convicted for being a sex offender. And it is so unfortunate that this lady has to sit here and still try and prove that this really 20 plus years later, she's still sitting up here having to try and prove to somebody that this really happened to me. The proof is in the pudding. The man already done got convicted for it. And if you look at the interview that she had on the reel and you look at her body language and everything, you could tell that that lady is broken. That lady is broken. She said that she had to move 4 or 5 different times. She had to separate herself from her children because she didn't want her children caught up in it. She actually said that somebody reached out to her daughter, and her daughter wasn't even born at the time when all this stuff was happening. So imagine you going through all of that and somebody is actually out here reaching out to your children. And it's so disappointing as a woman for Nicki Minaj to be putting in all of this extra effort. I really don't get it. But then too, she was sticking by her brother's side. When he was messing with that little girl, she was supporting her brother. I like love your people. I ain't got no problem with you loving your people or whatever, but I'm not finna support you in your bullshit, especially when it's something like that. You're not finna get not one red cent for me. I'm not finna help you with an attorney or nothing like that. And that's what's wrong with us in our community is a lot of this stuff be happening in our families and we brush it over the road. We be sitting up here actually trying to protect predators. We be protecting predators instead of protecting the victims. And it's so unfortunate. And Nicki Minaj, she sat up here and offered this girl, first of all, the money that she offered her initially, that ain't enough. And I think if she were to recant her story, I'm not just very familiar with the law as it pertains to that. But if you done accuse somebody of rape and they did time for it, and now 20 plus years later, you come and recant your story, can't she get locked up for that? I don't know. Somebody let me know. I mean, when she have to pay something or what something, it seemed to me like something would happen to her if she were to come out and say, well, she lied about it. And whether or not it's true is not even the issue at this point. It's the fact that Nicki Minaj is going at lengths in order to cover this up. And my thing is, if I was Nicki Minaj and I was married to that man and he did not register as a sex offender, we'll be at the goddamn divorce court. That's where we'll be at next. Because my thing is, you're not even thinking about me at all. You put me in the midst of it. You might as well say F your family at that point because the law is going to be after you. So you didn't do anything in order to protect your own woman in this particular situation. And to be honest with you, being that Nicki Minaj is such a public figure, and everywhere that she moves, she has to have this man tagging along, and he has to register as a sex offender, and now her address is out there or whatever. That makes her vulnerable. That makes her a target. If he really loved her, he wouldn't even allow her to marry him. And that's what makes me feel like his motives are not right. And that makes me feel like it's something wrong with Nicki Minaj in the head, like her elevator don't go all the way to the top. It's giving me very much a asylum type of vibe. Like it's something wrong with you. You giving me vibe. For you, I could see dealing with a felon. Okay? I think most women out here, we done dealt with a felon. But if we got to register our address everywhere and I got to be a part of this and the neighbors got to look over and say, hey, this house right here is where a sex offender live and I got to be associated with that. No, baby, I'm not going to be able to do this with you. I could love you or whatever the case may be. We could be common law married or whatever the case may be. I want person to do. I'm just saying if I was crazy enough to do something like that, we're going to have to create some type of boundaries, some type of parameters, because it ain't nowhere in the hell I'm about to have my address listed and it's associated with a sex offender. What type of shit is that? Nicki Minaj must have really wanted to it seemed like she was in a race with these other girls or something, because it wasn't that damn serious. You not only have you married this man, but you done turned around and you done had a baby with this man. And because he's a sex offender, it's certain things that you're not going to even be able to do and experience. Like, you want a family so bad, but yet you're not going to be able to experience the things that families get to experience with each other. Bitch, you can't take the child to Disneyland, Chuck E. Cheese, or Hurricane Harbor. You can't take the kid, like, he can't even go to a PTA meeting probably. Can he even go check the kid out from school? Like, you actually marry a whole live liability. Like, your husband can't even babysit your child. I don't think he can. You know, if he can't be around other people kids by himself, it seems to me he can't be with his own kids by himself. And then too, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this Nicki Minaj thing or whatever, and how they are talking about it in regards to, you know, her actually going through this stuff in the media about the vaccine, and everybody is trying to make it seem like, you know, it seemed like some type of conspiracy that the Jennifer Huff girl went on the Real and did an interview, and then Nicki Minaj is being dragged in the media with the government about the vaccine. A lot of people trying to make it seem like because Nicki Minaj had something negative to say about the vaccine, which she didn't tell nobody not to take it, but it's an insinuation basically. But anyway, people were trying to make it seem like, well, maybe the government is after her, and it's the reason why Jennifer, she went on the Real in order to have this interview, and not thinking like this lady is being harassed. This lady is saying somebody told her that they finna use the $20,000 that they tried to negotiate to get her to recant her story, that they gonna turn around and put that on her head. Like they already done told this lady, you need to count your fucking days. So whoever is going to listen to me at this point, I'm going on anybody's platform. I'm calling everybody up. TMZ, Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, The Real, goddamn. A bitch, call Deasia. Call anybody. I'm calling anybody at this particular point so they can hear me out. And the thing is, Jennifer, she wasn't clout chasing. She wasn't out to no money or whatever. We ain't heard nothing from this girl until Nicki Minaj started making statements. And then the Barbs are the one dug up that information. That girl, she hadn't made no noise. She refused to take the money, you know, and her life is constantly being threatened. Hell yeah, I'm finna pop up and do me an interview. I'm finna let y'all see that this is my face. This is who I am. This is what's happening to me. And so y'all could be able to identify me in the event something happened to me. And maybe because I done came public with this, these people will stand down and they'll hesitate on actually bothering me. You know, like the girl already been traumatized 20 years ago from being sexually assaulted. Now here it is. She got to deal with being harassment. She can't find no peace. And the money that she get from this lawsuit ain't going to be enough. And I don't know how much that they're actually asking for. But anyway, the thing is, even with all of this media coverage that Nicki has been getting with this vaccine thing, I really feel like Nicki Minaj knew all of this stuff was going to come down the wire. I feel like she knew all of this, and so she started this stuff in the media, you know, talking about the vaccine, anything COVID-19 related or whatever, all of that is triggering. I feel like because she knew all of this stuff was going to come down in the wire, she went ahead and started something up to get people to start deflecting or whatever, and not because she knowing, you know, those interviews and stuff. I'm sure that interview that she did on the Real wasn't live. I'm sure it was pre-recorded. So I'm sure Nicki Minaj got wind that interview was going to happen. And I'm of the belief that some of those stations that are going to be doing interviews about certain people have to reach out on to be discussed. I'm just saying that's just my theory on how it goes. I'm not exactly sure. But I really do feel like Nicki Minaj started all of that to try and get ahead of the situation. I really do. I really do. Because you getting online talking about relative nuts done swelled up from a vaccine or whatever the case may be. We don't need to know about all of that man ball situation. Why? He probably don't want everybody to know that his nuts heavy. So to me, I feel like you just throwing it out there and you trying to get people to look at something else, and then you want to sit here and you want to talk about the man nuts getting heavy, and then when the lady came out, I forgot the lady name, when the lady came out and said something to Nicki Minaj, woman card, and then she wanted to use the race card, she turned around talking about they sent another black woman first because it won't look the same. Whatever she said, basically she was trying to make it seem like, you know, we're attacking each other, and how they used the black woman to say something to her as a pun and all of that. And the lady Joan Reed, whatever her name is, she ain't have no business saying nothing to Nicki. To be honest, she really did. She really didn't have anything. She shouldn't have been saying anything to Nicki, because when Trump was talking about the vaccine and everything, she came out saying that she was hesitant about taking the vaccine. But that's neither here nor there. All of that stuff to me is used as a deflection. Gonna get off your ass, because it has been too many rumblings going on in the industry where people have came out and they talk about some of the dirt that Nicki Minaj has done. And at first I was just like, you know, maybe they just feeling this type of way, but I'm starting to believe a lot of that stuff is true. I'm really starting to believe a lot of that stuff is true. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The reason why that particular situation triggered me so much is because, especially when they were saying, when Nicki Minaj was saying that Kenneth Petty and Jennifer Huff, that they were in a relationship, as if that takes away from any, like that makes it right. It doesn't. You can still say no if you're in a relationship. A person don't have full rights to your body and just can have you willy-nilly and anytime they want to, without your consent, just because you're in a relationship. She said that like that's gonna make it, that makes the situation better, because something like that has happened to me before. You know, I actually was dating this guy. We were in a relationship. We got into it one night. He went to punching my dashboard. I pushed him or whatever. I started running. We in Memphis. We on Elvis Presley in what street was on? Belvedere. I forgot what street was on. Winchester and Elvis Presley. We on Winchester and Elvis Presley. I'm running. It's some crackheads that he done told the crackheads to chase me. So I'm running down Winchester and Elvis Presley away from crackheads, and you know they fast as hell. Next thing you know, I done got chased down by a crackhead. They done grabbed me, and now they done held me waiting for this man to come and get me. You know, and back then I was way smaller, so it wasn't nothing for somebody to just pick me up and throw me over their shoulder. And that's what the fuck my boyfriend did. This dude was about 240 pounds, 6'3". And then you done got me chased down by these damn crackheads on Elvis Presley and Winchester, and they strong as hell. So I got these crackheads all over me or whatever the case may be. You know, I don't want no crackheads touching on me. So I'm violated already. I don't know what you want. Imagine you a young girl and you getting chased by some crackheads. So now he done threw me over his shoulder. He done took me. I had skipped a part because what it was is, and this is the crazy thing. I had no business dealing with this man. This man was actually selling rocks, and his mom had a hotel room, and he actually was going. We was on our way to the hotel. We was parked at the hotel. That's how we got into it. He was selling rocks to his mom at a hotel room. So all of this, this sparked all of this, you know, stuff that we had going on. And so that's the reason why, you know, he knew these crackheads. So anyway, he done grabbed me and he done threw me over his shoulder. He takes me back into the room or whatever the case. I'm fighting him off and all this old kind of stuff. And I'm like, what type of shit is this? You serving your mama, you this, that, and the third. We had already got into it about something else. Then we pull up to the hotel and I find out that this is your mama. She a crackhead and this who you finna sell these rocks to? Like all hell broke loose or whatever. So anyway, we in the room. And, you know, he kissing all on me and baby, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, his mama is like right there seeing all of this. He has no regards. So his mama seeing all this, his mama telling me, baby, he love you. Don't worry. He love you or whatever. That's my son and all this. Bitch, you is a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And then on top of that, this is my first time of meeting her. And you introduce me to your mama on this type of situation. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, he kissing all on me, doing all of that or whatever the case may be. And so she ended up leaving out. And I'm like, get off of me. And he was like, babe, I'm sorry, and all this old kind of stuff or whatever, pulling at my pants. And I'm like, get your ass off of me. So I'm constantly doing this. And like Jennifer said, you get tired. I couldn't get this big old man off of me. And so he constantly doing this or whatever the case may be, then boom, he's inserting himself inside of me. And it wasn't pleasurable. That shit hurt because I wasn't ready to receive him. Like my body wasn't reacting like it should naturally to a man because I wasn't ready to receive him. So he forced himself up on me. That shit hurted. And the thing is, afterwards, I felt so violated. I was telling him in the midst of it, I was like, you're raping me. I'm telling him that. While he's on top of me, I'm like, you're raping me. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? And so for a long time, it took me getting much older for me to realize that's really realize that's what it was. Because if I tell people and I tell my friends, they'll be like, girl, that's your boyfriend. You know, y'all just, you know, break up to make me the best sex. They tried to write it off as that. No, I don't. Until this day, I don't play like that. Like, you're not about to climb on. If I'm mad at you or whatever, and we're in a heated moment, we finna resolve this issue first. I don't need you to be taking out your aggression and all of that. If you're gonna be on top of me, you need to act like you care. You need to act like you love me. And also, I need to be ready to receive you. You're not about to just force you and plow yourself into me. That's not how we get down around here. You know, and I'm not going to sit here and act like the situation messed me up the way that the situation messed Jennifer up, for the simple fact, yeah, he was my boyfriend. It wasn't like this was a stranger, so I didn't go through that process of maybe he done gave me something, or, you know, like what's next and all this whole kind of stuff. I did write it off fast, you know, that he was my boyfriend. But then when you keep it real, at the end of the day, it still is what it is. So saying that, it doesn't make it any better. And when she first did that, when Nicki Minaj first came out saying that was their girl boyfriend, that triggered me. And I didn't even want to talk on it at that particular time, because I'm like, why do people think that that's okay? If that was the case, it's still an issue. He's still dead as wrong. And for her to be going to all these lengths trying to protect him, it's just not cool. It was something else that I forgot. I should have wrote down what that lady said. It was something else that lady said that had me. Oh, when she was saying that she wasn't even, you could tell like that lady is not being vindictive or anything or whatever, because even when she was talking to the ladies on the reel, she also said the same thing I said. She was like, why didn't he protect her? She said, I feel like he should have been protecting the woman that he's with. Why he didn't protect her? It's something wrong with Nicki Minaj. Like, I like Nicki Minaj music or whatever the case may be, but I'm about to excommunicate her ass. She's never really had the best personality like her music. I'm not about to take away from her talent or anything. At first, I used to get on to people and be like, you know, quit blaming Nicki Minaj for this man crying. You know, she know what she married or whatever. I was one of those people that was out here justifying BS. Like, she know who she married. If she loved that man or whatever the case may be, let her go on about her business and be happy. You know, I was riding with her as far as that concerned. But once you start inserting yourself in it and you start using your money and your celebrity power moves, and you're sitting here threatening this woman, and you have no regard for the situation, and you're a woman yourself, whether you believe this girl or not, you still should stay out of it. Just because of the sensitivity of it all. It's such a sensitive, touchy matter to where I wouldn't even want to entertain any of it. I wouldn't even want to hear about it past, I know you got to go register as a sex offender. I wouldn't even want to hear about, I wouldn't even want to hear about all of that. And then I think about this. What if Nicki Minaj, and let's be clear, because men they sexually assault boys too or whatever. But I'm thinking about how things would have been if she would have had a little girl. I wonder what would have gone on through Nicki Minaj's head had she had a little girl. And you know what? When I remember it was some little documentary, little podcast. I don't know what it was. It was something that I had seen where Nicki Minaj, did she have an abortion? I think she either had an abortion or I think it was an abortion. I don't want to put that on that lady, but she either had an abortion or she had a miscarriage or whatever. And I think that regardless if you decide to have an abortion or you have a miscarriage, I think eventually that's going to weigh on you and that's going to be taxing. And I think that Nicki Minaj kind of had got to that point where she was just desperate, like trying to make up for lost time or something, or trying to make herself feel better about what she did. And the first thing smoking that she could feel like she could grab onto, and somebody that is familiar with her, she ain't got to go through the process. Like with Kenneth Petty, she been knowing him since she was about 13, 14 years old. So she don't have to go through this whole process of trying to get to know. The only thing they got to do is catch up. He know her before she was a celebrity or whatever, so she feels comfortable with this man. And she see all of her peers, they're being able to have families and still have their careers and all this, right? And I think that she felt like she was running out of time or something. And then the first thing she see this, she just latch on to it. And that was like one of the biggest mistakes this girl could have ever made. Because think about her legacy. All the hard work, like Nicki Minaj is one of those rap chicks that she could stand up and she could get down with the guys. And she gonna get respected. She's like a rapper's rapper. And she broke down so many barriers. And she's tarnishing the hell out of her legacy. Like, why would you do that? It's just not that serious. Like, why you putting money on somebody's head? You could have went and bought you a man that was better than him. Ruth Ann said, I was done with her when she bailed her brother out of jail after he had been raping his stepdaughter for years. She paid for his lawyers and was willing to be a character witness, shaking my damn head. Girl, I didn't know that she bailed the man out of jail. I just thought that she was paying for his lawyer fees. She shouldn't have, and like I said, you didn't catch it from the beginning. She shouldn't have been paying for anything. I wouldn't have paid for a damn thing associated with my brother if I found out a 12. Like, first of all, I'm not going to even tell no lie. You a family member of mine, or you a loved one of mine, and I find out that you've been messing with little girls, or you've been messing with anybody without consent, and you get a set. I'm gonna stand up and tell them to give your ass the chair, because that's what you deserve. I'm not. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Yes, girl. Ruthiana said, yes, girl, she bailed him out. She's so pitiful. She's ridiculous. But maybe it's the drugs. She was gone off them pills or something, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's the drugs. She acting like them crackheads that was chasing me down Winchester and Elvis Presley when I was running from my boyfriend. Damn, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Let me find out. She's ridiculous. And she sat up here and she did all that lying, all that capping for this man. Everything she was invited to, she didn't want to go to it. She lying, talking about 1 minute she got COVID, 1 minute it's something else. Now you just was trying to run from them processors and then want them people to come get you. And they done served your ass. And while you around here talking about you, every time you see her, she on Instagram talking about, I put on my jewelry just to go sit by the pool, and you sitting on this damn rock on your Flintstone shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did all of that trying to divert attention. And you knew all of this stuff was coming down in the wire. I'm not even about to have this conversation about whether or not Jennifer Huff is telling the truth about what happened to her. I'm not even about to have that conversation with people. I don't understand why people be even entertaining that part of it, because the man got convicted for it. So you got Nicki Minaj, Barb's, and them some of the dumbest people. Like, it's who got the dumbest fans? Nicki Minaj got some of the and then too, the Barb's can't be that young, because I remember listening to Nicki when I was younger. You know, so the Barb's, they gotta be like around our age or something. It's not no just really, really young people that big time Nicki Minaj fans. But they are so stupid. Like, why are y'all even out here having a conversation about whether or not it's true or not? This ain't even the issue. The man already been convicted for it. He already served his time. And to have her, to have the girl Jennifer to be in a situation where she got to try and prove that this happened to her again or whatever. Like, bitch, ain't nobody got to prove nothing to y'all. And y'all, the Barbs are the reason why this is the situation. Because they're the ones that went and dug up all of that stuff and made it something. We weren't thinking about that. We just went on and let Nicki Minaj have her felony for a husband and her felon for a husband. And we went on about our damn business. But the Barbs want to dig. The Barbs want to be nosy and figure things out and all of this all kinds of stuff. Ruth Anna said, I don't care who you are. I'm not protecting no child molester. No, indeed. No. Nicki Minaj is trash, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've never been a super fan of anybody. It's some people that I absolutely, it's some people that I rock with. And I want to see them do great things. I like Nicki Minaj music. And I would never fan out to the point where I turn a blind eye to BS. But as a person, like as an artist, a rapper or whatnot, Nicki Minaj is dope. As a person, that bitch is trash. And anybody that could stand up and support her, you trash too. Because she could have very well left herself up out of that. She didn't have to use her platform in order to protect this man. She didn't have to do that. You know how many wives support their men in silence? Just the fact that this woman has to sit here and tell you, woman to woman, this really happened to me, and you about to terrorize this girl, even if you don't believe her, that does not give you a right to threaten her life. She didn't do anything to you. She's not doing anything. She's not doing anything to anybody. That girl was minding her business. You didn't know her. You wasn't there when all of this stuff was happening. It had absolutely nothing to do with you. You and this man lost connection after all this length of time, and he ends up getting locked up for something, and then you turn around and you want to believe every single thing that he says and take his word and go to the extent where you start sending your goons after people. The men or women or whoever is going after that lady, they're trash. Nicki trash for not stopping these people, and she's trash for encouraging these people. Come on now. You just have to have some common decency at some point. Leave that damn lady alone. She ain't bothering nobody. She wasn't bothering you when you was putting on all your jewelry just to go down to the pool, sitting on that goddamn rock. She wasn't bothering you. Ruthiana said Nicki wants her husband's name off the registered sex offenders list. Yeah, she does want her husband's name off the registered sex offenders list, but you don't get your name off the registered sex offender list by harassing the person that you sexually offended and then deciding that you don't register. If Nicki wanted her husband's name off the sex offenders list, then she should have married a man that wasn't a sex offender. Because hell, what do she think that a sex offender got to do? Like now you're not. Now I'm like, Nicki, you're not dealing with reality. Offender's name off of the sex offenders list. That don't even make no sense. So just because you a celebrity, you Nicki Minaj, his name got to go off there. So now because you want his name off the sex offender list, you think it's appropriate to go and harass the victim, and you wasn't there. You don't really have a dog in this fight outside of the fact that you flat backing for this man. He humping up and jumping up and down in you every night. Otherwise, you ain't got a dog in this fight. Obviously, he wasn't so concerned about his name being on the sex offenders list. He wasn't fighting for it to be taken off the sex offenders list until he got with your ass. So obviously, he taking his charge. Because that's the case, we'll be hearing about how he been trying to get his name off of it, and he's been trying to prove his innocence or whatever. We ain't heard that side of the story. So for where it stands, it's not a matter of whether or not I believe Jennifer Huff or not. Yeah, of course I believe what she said. Because her story hasn't changed up as far as everything that I have heard. She did have some family members and things that was coming out and speaking against her. And I think that they was only doing it just because they want to be in good grace with Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj don't give a fuck about y'all. So you ready to out your own relative that done been traumatized or whatever, so you could be in the good grace of a celebrity who don't even know that you damn exist. But you all on people podcasts using avatars and stuff, talking and having conversations going against your relative. Everybody be doing stuff for clout these days. Ruth Anna said he can't even pick their child up from school or be around other children. That's exactly what I was saying in the beginning. See, I don't know all the laws of how they go, but I'm like, Nicki Minaj, you sitting up here doing all this rushing in order to have a family, but you can't really have a family for real. You can't even do the things that people do with their children. Like, bitch, y'all cannot go to Chuck E. Cheese. Can he go? He can't go. Can he go to a PT? Can he even? My thing is, Ruthiana, do you know if he could be? So he could be around other kids as long as it's supervised, right? Or no? Like if Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty, they decided they want to take the baby to Disneyland, can they go to Disneyland since he's not going by himself? Because I was thinking like in certain places that they just absolutely cannot go. I don't know. But I don't even hate it for Nicki. She got what she does. She signed up for this. So if you're gonna sign up for this, you gotta come with everything that comes. You gotta be ready to deal with everything that comes with it. When I did my stupid shit, I had to deal with everything that came with that. I had to accept it for what it was because that was the decision that I made. And just like you sit up and you made that stupid decision to be with this man who made a stupid decision, then y'all stupid asses need to take y'all charge together and just deal and rest and be happy and be in perfect harmony, knowing that y'all both are some stupid motherfuckers. That's what y'all need to do. The end. But anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight for another episode of Deaths of the Age of You Can't Whoop Me edition. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also hit the notification bell. That way that you won't miss any of my lives. I will be going live every Tuesday, as y'all know, on just my regular show, Deaths of the Age, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, same place. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm about to tune out. Y'all have a good night.
I hope you black men were paying attention. I hope you black men were paying attention.